Donald Trump, elected president.
There are
of the
major
United States.
developments tonight in the case of a neighborhood watch camp.
Refugee camps in the neighboring countries are becoming oversaturated. There is no jobs.
As Trump accelerates his assault on the environment, it's important we address a few issues surrounding climate change.
Let's talk a little policy first off. What did you think of the Global Warming Summit in Paris this week?
I think it's ridiculous. We have bigger problems right now, and to have the president be there for an extended period of time talking about global warming being the biggest problem facing this country is insane.
The nationwide fight against climate change often fails to acknowledge a critical component: environmental racism. Environmental racism describes a disturbing reality that Black people are more likely to live in environments that are toxic and hazardous to their health. According to a study on toxic waste and race, race was by far the most prominent factor in the location of hazardous waste landfills, more prominent than household income and home values. According to a study by Environmental Justice and Health Alliance, the percentage of Black people living in proximity to hazardous sites is 75% greater than the United States as a whole. African Americans are shown to have higher levels of carbon monoxide in their blood. Lead poisoning disproportionately affects children of color, and communities of color generally have higher exposure to air pollution and water contamination. So how did we get here? Environmental racism is a manifestation of the effects of discriminatory housing, residential segregation, discriminatory zoning regulations, and imbalances in political power. These sometimes intentionally racist policies kept Black people trapped in resource-deprived neighborhoods and exacerbated poverty and marginalized Black communities. Black neighborhoods, which lacked political clout, were used as sites for hazardous dumping, causing pollution, contamination, eventually leading to the unimaginable neglect and disparate health outcomes that we see today. The Federal Environmental Protection Agency is theoretically supposed to promote environmental justice for vulnerable communities across the nation. Their website reads, "The EPA's goal is to provide an environment where all people enjoy the same degree of protection from environmental and health hazards and equal access to the decision-making process to maintain a healthy environment in which to live, learn, and work." Despite the obvious reality that environmental racism is pervasive across the country, in 2015 it was reported that the EPA denies 95% of the civil rights claims that are filed, consistently dismissing our most vulnerable communities. As we fight for climate change awareness, keep in mind that climate change disproportionately affects low-income communities of color, and therefore dismantling anti-Black racism is key to tackling climate change. I'm Marique Muhammad, and this is Woke Up Late.